Welcome to Moments with Marianne. This is your host, Marianne Pastana. We're here today with special guest, James Rice, who's here to share with us his journey and book, Transform Yourself, a Pump Club story. So are you ready to take the first step towards personal transformation? Well, today's guest is here to share with us how to do just that. A few short years ago, James Rice could not put on a jacket without help. He couldn't change a light bulb, cut his toenails, or do many of the things that most of us take for granted. Today, he is the National Body Transformation Champion, inspiring thousands around the world, including the greatest bodybuilder ever, Arnold Schwarzenegger. His book, Transform Yourself, is a moving and funny journey of a 52-year-old, 300-pound man who transformed himself into a bodybuilding champion. So welcome to the show, James Rice.
Thank you very much, Marianne. Very happy to be here.
What an honor it is to have you here and to talk about these books. What was the turning point for you that had you even embark on the journey that you've been on?
Well, I mean, at the beginning, I was 300 pounds, and the goal was just to get myself medically, ready and in shape for life and for the next half of my life. I was 48 years old when I started down this road, and I was very concerned about my health, and it led me to losing the first 100 pounds, and then after that, I had such tremendous energy, and I was so excited about my work that I had done. I really felt that I could do just about anything, and when you have that feeling, I decided I wanted to enter into a bodybuilding competition at 52 years old. And specifically, there's a category called body transformation where it's for real people. It's not necessarily those big, Arnold Schwarzenegger or Ronnie Coleman type bodybuilders where they really go on the extreme. It's more of a category for everyday people who have done something with their lives through fitness and nutrition to show off what fitness and nutrition has done for them. And so that's what kind of gave me that motivation to go. And when I started at the very beginning in 2019, I saw a large man. He was 350 pounds, and he got down to 175, and it inspired me to say I want to go on that stage and be like him, and that's what led me to getting on stage and transforming myself, which is the title of the book.
So, what was the biggest challenge you faced while transitioning from being 300 pounds to, entering this bodybuilding championship?
So weight loss, is about hitting a target number. So people say, I want to lose 50 pounds or I want to lose 100 pounds. You're kind of watching the scale. You're focused on ways to lose weight. Training for a competition was a totally new mindset, totally different than what I was prepared for. With training, the key was being disciplined and focused on everything: food, calories, you're counting calories, the types of exercise you're doing, and the most important part of which was recovery, because I was working out 6 days a week. With weight loss programs, you could take a day off, you could have a cheat meal, you can have a cheat day. There are ways to balance yourself over the long term to help you lose weight. When you're training for a competition, there is no day off. There are no cheat meals, especially at 52 years old, where you can't get away with anything like that. You have to be on a military style program. It was incredibly hardcore. And so in the weeks leading up to the competition, I was working out 90 minutes a day, 6 days a week. I just felt so incredible. There were 20-year-olds that couldn't keep up to me. I mean, my body was absolutely fully optimized. It was a fantastic feeling.
It sounds like a feeling a lot of people would like to have right now. And, I think sometimes people just look at numbers and go, gosh, that's a lot for me to accomplish within a short period of time. How am I even going to do that?
Yeah, absolutely, totally, and I think that's one of the challenges is when you're training versus weight loss. So when you're doing weight loss, you can weigh yourself every week, and and take time to lose weight, maybe a pound a week or a pound and a half a week. It's great numbers. But when you're training, you've got to be really really hardcore and really really focused. So it's a totally different mindset. And even after winning the competition, I fell into this incredible world of Arnold Schwarzenegger and his pump app. And Arnold inspires me to share my success. He always talks about positivity and the need for the world to hear positive stories. And so you don't want to necessarily just focus on numbers. You want to focus on the journey and the positivity of getting where you want to go. And people need to hear these stories as well as all the negative stuff that's out there. They need to hear the positivity.
Well, your journey has inspired thousands, and including Arnold Schwarzenegger. I mean, how does it feel to have such an impact on people around the world?
I mean, it's totally unbelievable. I'm still in the mindset that I'm a 300-pound man. So when people say to me, you've inspired me or you're inspiring, it really is a shock to me, because it's not, I'm still 300 pounds. I haven't changed inside. It's just the outside that has changed. So it's a bit surreal. It's a bit Arnold really has been inspiring me to tell my story, as well as the community in the Pump app. They've really inspired me to get out there and tell my story. And I think that's when you have people cheering you on, that makes everything a whole lot easier.
So let's talk about the Pump Club app for a quick moment. So, is that for just regular people or just bodybuilders? I mean, who is that really catering
Oh,
to?
it's 100% for everyday people. It's a fantastic fitness app, and it goes through different types of training and different types of exercises, and they have whole programs built out for you and your specific goals. I've been on the Pump app for 88 weeks. I've never missed a week. I've been a member for over 600 days. I've lifted over 2 million pounds. I've completed 60,000 reps, 4,000 sets. That's the fitness side. They track all that for you. It's very inspiring. But the other side of the Pump app is the community interaction. So the Pump app has created a community around Arnold and around training, and people sharing their stories, and finding this community has really taught me there is so much more that I can do. People share their struggles, which is really really inspiring to hear that you're not alone out there. I mean, I'm very close with two gentlemen, Ben and Dave. They're big men. They're working very very hard, and they tell me about how I inspire them, but they also inspire me. There's another gentleman from Canada. His name's Pierre. He's been struggling with cancer. We've become very good friends as he's trying to get his life back on track after the cancer treatments. All very inspirational. Every day I chat with Scott, Ray, Jeremy, all of these Pump Club members. One of them even took a ride in the Blue Origin up into space. He took a Pump Club medallion up into space. It was like we were all there with him. So this type of community has been built around fitness, nutrition, sharing stories, everybody pumping each other up and being positive. And that's Arnold's way of life and Arnold's philosophy. And it's really taught me that I've won the trophies, I've won the medals and the awards, but winning is something that you do every day. It's not a competition. You don't need a trophy. And that's the lesson that I've learned being a part of the Pump Club. And I'm very thankful for that.
What great, just words of wisdom to live by. I think a lot of times people think is like winning something that you do and then you're done, but to have it be something that's constantly, like, it's an everyday thing. I love that.
It was a challenge for me after I won, because I've kind of reached the goals. I wanted to lose 100 pounds, then I wanted to enter the competition, and it's kind of like, what do you do next? And really, I've learned that there's a lot that I can give back to people and give back to the community to help others that maybe are struggling with weight loss, or struggling with cancer, or struggling with depression. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint. You got to take your time through it. And my whole program was 4 years in length. It wasn't a fast change, but I hope that I can inspire and help people overcome some of their challenges.
So let's talk about your first book, The 100 Pound War. Can you share a little bit about that book with us?
So the 100 pound war was, a lot of people ask me, how did you do it? And how do when you're eating as much as I was, eating as much sugar and carbs and not exercising, and I had tremendous health problems, how do you make that change? When you go on YouTube, you see all these, buff bodybuilders saying, eat sardines and celery and carrots. I don't want to do that. I want to, I don't want to live my life like that. How do I lose weight without, living like a rabbit? So that was the book, was that taught me about my body, to learn about what foods affected me, what foods didn't affect me, what questions to ask your personal trainer or your dietitian to help you improve your nutrition and health. And basically, there were five strategies that we had in place. One was, the battle with nutrition, and then the battle with exercise and sugar and carbs, and then supplement battles, and then the battle with stress, and that's a really, really big battle as well. So the 100 pound war is made up of all these different types of battles that I went through as I learned how to control my eating habits, how to transition to fitness and a healthier lifestyle. And so some battles you may face, some battles other people may face. For me, the big one was sugar. I have a very, very sweet tooth, and how do you control that sugar intake was really, really hard. I mean, I was eating close to 500 grams of sugar a day when I was 300 pounds. And you imagine that's like 12 cans of Coke a day. There's 38 grams of sugar in a can of Coke. So, that's how much sugar I was consuming. That's what was getting me through a day. So the 100 pound war was about how I got off that, how I transitioned into healthy eating, and losing that 100 pounds, which took me 9 months and 26 days to lose 100 pounds. So it's not that hard to do.
Well, how inspiring is that? Well, on that note, we're going to pause here for a quick break. We've been speaking with James Rice in regards to his new book, Transform Yourself, a Pump Club Story. You've been listening to Moments with Marianne. We'll be right back after these messages from our sponsors.
Are you an author, speaker, or expert who is looking for more publicity? Visit radioguestlist.com and sign up for free interview requests from shows looking for guests. Radio Guest List is the #1 free booking resource for radio, podcasts, and TV talk shows who are looking for experts like you right now. Visit radioguestlist.com and sign up today to get the visibility you deserve.
There comes a moment when you realize you're somewhere special. When you discover that each beautiful creature that you see has been rescued from a life of absolute horror and brought to this incredibly free place. Here's where their lives were forever changed and where yours will as well. Discover over 500 tigers, bears, and lions at the brand new visitor center at the Wild Animal Sanctuary just outside Denver. For more information, visit wildanimalsanctuary.org. Discover true freedom at the Wild Animal Sanctuary.
It's one thing to become attached to your perfect home, but what do you do when that home becomes attached to you? A family in dire need of a fresh start, a mysterious house tied to the past. Buried deep within the foundation of the old Far Hill Manor lies a centuries-old secret. Dark forces or something stronger just waiting to be discovered. Caretaker, a supernatural thriller by breakout authors R.J. Halpert.
Internationally recognized and award-winning author Judy Goodman works and teaches outside the box of limited thinking. Working with people from every walk of life, her goal is to empower you to be the best you can be, no matter what the challenge is. Born with the gift of seeing beyond our normal vision, she has an extraordinary gift of working with every challenge. Teaching beyond conventional wisdom, her work is described as life-changing. Visit judygoodman.com. That's judygoodman.com.
I'd like to thank Jason Eastwood at Guitarfulness for sharing his inspiring music and talent with us. His music is known worldwide for cultivating atmospheres of harmony, inner peace, and clarity. Visit Jason's website at guitarfulness.com. Join his newsletter, be part of his community, and download his music. Welcome back to Moments with Marianne. We're here today with special guest, James Rice, and he's here to share with us his new book, Transform Yourself, a Pump Club Story. I think it's interesting because your book really does offer people another way of approaching this where it's not all sardines and celery,
Yeah, and the biggest challenge was, what food do I eat? What can I eat? In my first month, I lost 23 pounds, which was great. But I mean, I wasn't eating well. Even though I lost 23 pounds, I wasn't eating with nutrition, and I wasn't eating to help recover, from exercise. So it really was a challenge to find food that is healthy and inexpensive. I mean, there's healthy food out there that's very, very expensive, but finding food that is healthy and are reasonably priced, it's a real challenge when you look through that supermarket. And one of the best pieces of advice that I have heard was, you shop on the outside of the supermarket. Don't go into the aisles where everything is processed and boxed up. You shop on the outside where it's dairy and meats and vegetables, and stick to that.
So, what then inspired you to write Transform Yourself?
So I left the 100-pound war book at the end saying, to be continued. And this was the continuation. I knew that I wanted to be on stage. I knew that I wanted to compete in the bodybuilding competition. And so I felt that there was another book there, but I wasn't sure what it was going to be about. And I certainly didn't think that that Arnold Schwarzenegger was going to be a part of the book at all. And he has been such a great motivator for me, sharing out my story. We were at the Arnold Classic in Columbus, where he was with many, many bodybuilders. The great bodybuilders from around the world were all with him, and he pulled out my photo with the Pump Club community. They had all gathered around to take my picture together as one big group celebrating my transformation. And he said this was the best picture and the best moment that he had during this event. Even though he had been with all of these great bodybuilders, this was the best moment that he had seen. And I was really, that's really inspiring when you get a message like that from Arnold.
Oh my goodness, how touching that is to hear that, especially with the bodybuilding success that he's had.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, he is such a tremendous inspiration to many bodybuilders. I said when we were at the Columbus event, I saw many bodybuilders, become like little kids around Arnold, because they are so excited to meet Arnold and to shake his hand and have him recognize them. So to have him recognize a guy like me who was 300 pounds, 4 or 5 years ago, I was sitting on the sofa, 300 pounds, torn MCL, torn rotator cuff. The doctor's asking me to take blood pressure pills and all, pre-diabetic, all high blood pressure, all of these medical conditions. 4 or 5 years later, meeting Arnold and listening to him say about my story, you can't get better than that.
When you first went on stage, what was the hardest part of preparing for that?
Yeah, the hardest part is posing. Actually, learning to pose. In fact, I almost quit about 4 weeks out because I didn't know how to pose. I was really terrible. I would look in the mirror and I would, pose my with my biceps and everything. It was terrible. It was really, really terrible. It took me 4 weeks, and I had to have a coach to learn how to pose on stage, how to move, how to smile, how not to shake, even though you're kind of cramping up. If you see Arnold in his movie Pumping Iron, he learned about he learned from a ballet dancer on how to move gracefully on stage with his different poses. It is really, really hard, and the ability to pose is uh, something that I think is missing from bodybuilding today because many bodybuilders just getting big. They go to kind of the extreme. But the old school days of Arnold, everything was about posing. And so um, for body transformation category that I was in, the bigger the shock you can give to the audience, the better story you can tell, then the better chance you have of winning. So my goal was to create great poses because I knew the backdrop was going to be my huge 300-pound photo. So I wanted to show off my body through different poses. But it was really hard learning how to pose. I got to say, it was every single day after the workout for almost 30 minutes, just walking through different poses. It was not natural. It was very hard. I wasn't very good at it, I have to say. There's lots of room for improvement there.
I could only imagine and how difficult that is. People don't think about that, but being on stage, being able to pose, I mean, it is very much like you're walking through in some ways like a dance.
Yeah, it was a dance choreography. It really was. And I was like, wow, this was not what I expected. And they taught me when I was posing by myself, I looked terrible. But when the coach showed me, he was showing me how to pose, I was like, I can see a six pack. Because the way I was breathing, the way I was standing, I'm like, wow, that is unbelievable. By myself, I couldn't see anything. But when they showed me and they taught me how to do it, it was an amazing moment.
How just remarkable that is. And I know that we've talked about Arnold and the Pump Club and how that's impacted your journey. How does it continue to affect you as you go on your path here?
So the big thing for me has been sharing my story and now trying to help others and trying to give them some support and small pieces of advice. I think on the Pump Club app, there's great advice and there's great information that's created by the gentlemen that run the Pump Club, Daniel and Adam. They give great information and great training advice. But uh, I find right now I'm in the stage where I really just want to give back. I want to give back to the community of the Pump Club. I want to give back to members at the gym that I work out at that are struggling. And through the book, if I can inspire people to keep moving, keep going forward with their journey, and know that it's not a journey to an end. It's a journey to what I call making life and exercise and nutrition just a habit in your life. It's not motivation to get up and work out. It should be just a habit. We brush our teeth in the morning. Some of us comb our hair, not me, perhaps you do in the morning. It becomes a habit. And so working out, going to the gym should become a habit. I'm up at 6 a.m. I head to the gym. I get my workout in. If I don't do a workout for 2 or 3 days, I feel terrible. Imagine if you don't brush your teeth for 2 or 3 days, you feel terrible. So you've got to create a habit in your lifestyle, and it's not about a number. It's not about weight loss. It's not about getting on stage. It's just about creating that habit for a healthy life and for longevity and the quality of life for as long as you can possibly live. And so my own personal goal right now is building muscle onto my body because I've learned from Arnold, and he shared this through the Pump app, is that as he's gotten older, what's kept him strong and healthy has been all of that muscle that he's developed. And he's been able to go through heart surgeries, get a pacemaker, and still be active at the gym and get back into training because he built up enough muscle through the years to be strong to face down those health challenges that we're all going to face. I'm 54 now. I look down at the road and I see I'm going to be facing health challenges. So I want to be prepared when those challenges come on to me, and I want to defeat them and move forward so I have a good quality of life for as long as possible.
I think when you look at it that way, how just empowering that is. I mean, our bodies have to be as strong as possible to carry us through our entire lives.
Exactly. And I want my life to be as long as possible. I want to fight aging. I don't want to go quietly into the night. I want to fight right to the end as long as possible.
So, James, what would you like readers and our listeners to take away from Transform Yourself?
I think the big thing is that winning is something that you do every day, and putting challenges in front of you and creating a habit is what I really hope the readers take away from it. And that the big thing is, it doesn't matter where you're starting, you've got to start. And when you do start, you're going to feel so incredible that you can take on the world, and you're going to do a whole bunch of new things that you never even thought possible. And I use my example of getting the chance to meet Arnold Schwarzenegger, and inspiring a man like Arnold was not even in the realm of possibility when I started my transformation. So anything is possible, and I see that with the people in the Pump Club. I see what they're doing. I see the work that they're putting in, and great things happen when you have that positive outlook on life. As Arnold says, when you have a clear vision of what you want to do, whether it's playing the piano, whether it's working out, if you have a vision and you have a passion for that vision, you're going to be able to do things you never even thought possible. So I hope that my story will show I had a clear vision. I had a lot of struggles through that vision, but at the end, I was successful. And then beyond the end, there's a whole other series of stories that I never expected after winning the competition.
Well, James, where can our readers and listeners connect with you, learn more about your books, and be part of your community?
Well, I really love them to join the Pump Club app. Download that app on the app stores, and get started through there. You'll see me. I'm always on the app, chatting and talking to people. Also visit my website, www.100poundwar.com. That's 100. And I'm on Instagram at Connect with James. Feel free to follow, text me, shoot me a message. Happy to help out. But I'd really recommend everybody grabbing the Pump app and getting started working out with Arnold. And he's got a great Black Friday special on. I think it's $99 for the year. And get working out with Arnold, and join the community.
Well, James, thank you so much for taking the time to be on the show with us here today.
Thank you, Marianne.
Well, thank you, James. It's been such an honor to spend this time with you and to talk about your new book, Transform Yourself. Learn more about James and his story at his website, 100poundwar.com. You can learn more about Arnold Schwarzenegger's app and his community at arnoldspumpclub.com. Well, we're at the end of our time today. I'd like to thank everyone for tuning in. You've been listening to Moments with Marianne, where we make every moment count.
In a single moment, your life can change. Moments with Marianne is a transformative hour that covers an endless array of topics with the best of the best. Her guests are leaders in their fields, ranging from inspirational authors, top industry leaders, and business and spiritual entrepreneurs. Each guest is gifted and a true visionary, a recognized leader in her own work, and while teaching others to develop, refocus, and grow, Marianne will bring the best guest and sometimes a special surprise. Don't miss this. You never know just which moment will change your life forever. Make sure to tune in and visit momentswithmarianne.com for more information.